Superfood Evolution presents Stevia leaf, a natural herbal sugar substitute. Stevia is a natural sweetener derived from the thick, sweet, green leaves of the Stevia rebaudiana plant species native to South America. Growing wild in semi-arid climates of Paraguay, it has a long history of use by indigenous peoples from these regions. Although used extensively for decades in Japan and China as a white powdered extract in commercial products and drinks, it first became popular in the U.S. in the mid-1980s to early 1990s when it was recognized as a valuable sugar alternative with a very sweet taste yet no absorbable sugar content or calories. It also became particularly well known with the introduction of the body ecology diet, which promotes it as a #1 sweetener for candida overgrowth as it does not feed intestinal yeast or raise blood sugar levels. Stevia was banned by the FDA in the 1990s under the pressure of the NutraSweet company, a business competitor claiming that further research was required to prove its safety as a sugar substitute. The Food and Drug Administration banned the sale of the sweetener from all stores in the U.S. for a period of time until eventually, due to public disapproval, it appeared back on shelves as a dietary supplement rather than as a natural, non-glycemic sugar. Since 2008, the use of stevia has been proven therapeutic and safe to consume as an herbal sweetener. During the earlier years of stevia use in the U.S., the unrefined bulk herb was the primary part used in tea blends as well as the concentrated green liquid solutions made from the powder. Because the straight green powder to some individuals has a more licorice-like aftertaste that is less palatable, it then started to be developed for intake as a white powder as well as a liquid extract, much the same way the Japanese have used it since the 1970s. These varieties were created to make it more convenient to use and closer in appearance to other sugars most people are traditionally familiar with using. The green, whole food forms of stevia are, of course, higher in nutrient content compared to the white powders or extracts. However, the more refined versions are still considered a top sugar substitute for those with diabetes, hyperglycemia, obesity, candida overgrowth, or individuals adhering to a low sugar or low calorie diet. Today, there are many more processed commercial stevia-based products available developed by multinational corporations like PepsiCo and the Coca-Cola Company, including such brands as Truvia and Purevia. These versions usually contain rebaudioside A isolates labeled under the generic term stevia leaf extract, as well as other ingredients like maltodextrin or erythritol, usually refined from genetically modified corn. They also implement the use of chemical and bleaching techniques to create a whiter, more uniform product. Although they are a much better option than Sweet and Low, Equal, NutraSweet, or other artificial sweeteners, they are a far cry from the true green leaf variety or less refined solution concentrates. What is stevia? The Stevia rebaudiana plant species is related to the sunflower family. Usually growing to a height of about 2 to 3 feet, it is a fairly small shrub native to rainforest regions of South America, but tolerates subtropical or moderate climates all over the world. The sweetness of the leaves are dependent on how much sunlight it receives throughout the day. Long days of bright sun provide a high concentration of steviol glycosides. The sweet taste of steviol glycosides. The leaves of the stevia plant are one of the sweetest substances found in nature. The sweetness comes from the presence of steviol glycosides. These chemical compounds are glycosides of steviol, a diterpene constituent. Steviol glycosides specifically contain glucose and other non-sugar molecules referred to as aglycones. The sweet flavors on the tongue are the taste receptors reacting to the glucose element and also to a slight bitterness from the aglycones. The total glycoside compounds found in the leaf include stevioside, rebaudioside A, rebaudioside C, dulcoside A, and small amounts of rebaudioside B, D and E. Stevioside and rebaudioside A are usually found in greater proportions and are the main components isolated for commercial use because they contain higher levels of sweetness. There is some technical controversy about exactly how much sweeter stevia is compared to white sugar or sucrose, but generally it's reported to be between 30 to 300 times sweeter, depending on how it is extracted or refined. Rebaudioside A, being the sweetest compound found in the leaf, is often a key ingredient isolated and extracted for use in many commercial products and marketed under the generic name stevia leaf extract or the trade name rebaudiana. General metabolic pathway. When consumed, the glycoside compounds remain intact until they reach the large intestine, where gut bacteria convert steviol glycosides into glucose and steviol. The glucose is utilized by beneficial microbes, while steviol is primarily metabolized by the liver and excreted via the urine as steviologlucuronide. When forms of stevia are ingested, the glucose element is not absorbed into the bloodstream, a characteristic that makes it a non-glycemic sugar alternative. Current chemical analysis of steviol glucosides shows no toxic effects apparent in humans tested or studied. History of use. Stevia, also called sweet herb, has been used by the Guarani Indians of Paraguay for hundreds of years in preparations with other herbs, like yerba mate, or for medicinal purposes such as stomach upset. The leaves were often chewed or brewed as a tea to provide a sweet taste that balanced other more bitter herbs. Stevia still grows wild in parts of South and Central America, but is now also cultivated for export. There was some European interest in growing and processing stevia for use as a sugar substitute during World War II, but it never quite developed and other artificial sweeteners dominated the sugar shortage, primarily saccharin. Today, the plant is cultivated extensively in Asian countries, especially China, with the stevioside compound widely used as an approved food additive in many Asian countries. It was first imported to the U.S. from Paraguay in 1982 by Sweet Leaf Wisdom Natural Company founder James May, who was the first to market the dried leaves as an alternative natural sweetener. Growing a stevia plant. We always promote growing your own foods and superfoods whenever possible, and the stevia plant is well tolerated in many semi-arid climates above freezing temperatures. It is an easy plant to grow and is naturally resistant to many potential pests and diseases. Because the seed is harder to germinate directly with about a 10% success rate, we usually advise purchasing a seedling start or using a cutting from another plant. Sometimes starts are available at local nurseries, depending on where you live, but they can also be ordered by mail. The leaves are harvested after the summer months when they are at their prime. It usually dies back with the first hard frost, but leaves will develop at the base of the plant the following year if temperatures don't get too far below freezing. Stevia benefits as an herbal sweetener. With many people searching for healthier sugar substitutes for diabetes, obesity, and candida overgrowth, the non-sugary sweet components make stevia a valuable alternative, replacing artificial sweeteners as well as other high-calorie sugars. Stevia's list of medicinal and nutritious properties are present to a large degree in the whole, green, leaf-based products, rather than the refined versions. White powders and isolated extracts are chiefly created to concentrate the sweet elements and have less actual nutritional value as they have been stripped of trace minerals and the green chlorophyll component. Good for diabetics, helps regulate pancreas. Because the glucose-containing steviol glycosides are not absorbed in the bloodstream, blood sugar levels remain stable and unaffected by intake. Various studies show that this effect has a positive influence on regulating the pancreas and may be a healthy sugar alternative for those with diabetes. In a study observing the blood glucose lowering properties of the extracts and impact of stevioside and steviol on insulin release, it was concluded that stevioside and steviol stimulate insulin secretion via a direct action on beta cells. The results indicate that the compounds may have a potential role as anti-hyperglycemic agents in the treatment of type 2 diabetes mellitus. Another 2013 study analyzing the roles of stevia on abrogating insulin resistance in diabetes, it was observed that through several different pathways, the sweetener eventually led to anti-hyperglycemic reactions. In the Journal of Pharmacy and Bioallied Sciences, an additional study was published showing anti-diabetic activity and its revitalizing effect on the pancreas. May help reduce blood pressure. There is some evidence that the herbal sweetener might be helpful for hypertension or reducing blood pressure. In a 2010 research investigation, it was reported that the evaluation of 2 long-term studies indicates that stevia may be effective in lowering blood pressure in hypertensive patients. However, in earlier studies, the isolated molecule rebaudioside A had no effect on blood pressure, while the specific stevioside component was significantly effective in blood pressure reduction. The blood pressure lowering potential might have something to do with the diterpene compound, which is a known anti-inflammatory agent. Good for a low-sugar diet or candida overgrowth. When people have candida overgrowth or serious illnesses such as cancer, eating any form of sugar is not advised because it encourages their development. Stevia is the exception, however, because its glucose element is not absorbed by the body, nor does it feed the fungal yeast strains that tend to predominate other friendly microbiota, such as lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. Using the low-calorie sweetener can also be of benefit to those wanting to reduce excess body weight by limiting the amount of carbohydrates consumed throughout the day. Other health benefits. In a 2013 study published in the Journal of Diabetes and Its Complications, it was shown that the leaves also have an antioxidant effect with the ability to reduce oxidative stress, and results suggested that stevia leaves do have a significant role in alleviating liver and kidney damage. Both the green herb as well as the white powder and extracts appear to help prevent tooth decay and cavity formation. Not in the same way that xylitol does, but it is often found as an ingredient in chewing gums and toothpaste as a sugar substitute. What does stevia sugar taste like? Some people like it immediately, and for others it is an acquired taste. The green leaf powders, infusions, or extracts have a stronger flavor and can have a slightly licorice-like aftertaste, especially if you use too much. However, they can be easily camouflaged in recipes and drinks. Other refined stevia sugars or extracts, usually a white powder or clear liquid, do not have this component and are better for those who find the raw green taste overpowering. Is stevia beneficial for everyone? Although stevia might be a beneficial alternative to a low-sugar or low-calorie diet, it may also not be appropriate for all people. There is some controversy about how the sweet element can essentially trick the body into thinking it is going to receive glucose, and when it doesn't, is believed to possibly cause fatigue, hypoglycemia, and adrenal stress. Our personal opinion is that stevia may affect different people with unique body types in different ways and in a dose-dependent manner. It is therefore important to listen to your individual response when using the sweetener both in small and larger quantities. In addition, there may also be a great variance between the whole stevia and its isolated concentrates. For some people, it may be better to use it to cut the glycemic index of other sugars or carbohydrates consumed rather than using it strictly on its own. Types of stevia. White powders. White powders are refined versions of straight stevioside or rebaudioside A and have a more palatable taste for some people. Unfortunately, most refined white powders or crystals contain other ingredients like maltodextrin, used primarily as an anti-clumping agent. Maltodextrin is a polysaccharide usually derived from genetically modified corn, using chemicals and bleaching techniques. Sweet Leaf by Wisdom Natural does not use maltodextrin in their powder, but a soluble inulin fiber. It comes as a bulk powder or is additionally available in packet-sized portions for greater convenience. Dried green powder or leaf. The dried green powder or leaf is the most nutritious way to consume stevia, but it also tends to have a stronger flavor. You can purchase the dried leaves and grind them down for quality freshness or tincture the leaf in alcohol or glycerin. It is often sold in bulk at some health food stores or can be ordered by the pound. Liquid extracts. Liquid extracts come in dropper bottles and are extremely convenient to use. They can be made from the green leaf or more refined stevioside and or rebaudioside A extracts. Some brands like Sweet Leaf come in a variety of flavors. Comparison of some commercial stevia sweeteners. Sweet Leaf Wisdom Natural brand. Founded by James May, the powder or crystallized sugars are made from inulin fiber and organic stevia extract. The stevia solutions are made from purified water, organic stevia leaf extract, and different flavored oils, extracts, or natural aromatics. Body Ecology. Company owned by Donna Gates, made from organic stevia leaf, purified water, organic alcohol 6.9%, and organic vegetable glycerin. Omika Organics. Organic liquid stevia made from organic stevia leaf, purified water, organic alcohol 6.9%, certified organic vegetable glycerin, and sometimes flavored with extracts or natural flavors. Stevia in the raw. Also owned by the same company as Sweet and Low, made from non-organic dextrose and stevia extract. Truvia, a Coca-Cola-owned product made from non-organic erythritol, stevia leaf extract, and natural flavors. Erythritol is usually made from genetically modified corn, unless it states so on the label. Pure Via, a PepsiCo-owned product made from non-organic dextrose, rebaudioside A, and natural flavors. How to use stevia sugar. The green powder works very well in various dessert recipes and can be blended with other natural sweeteners like raw honey, coconut sugar, or agave to decrease the glycemic index. Because of the stronger flavor and licorice-like aftertaste, the powder is best used camouflaged into dressings, sauces, shakes, or smoothies rather than used straight in teas. It also does not completely dissolve in liquids as it is a fibrous green leaf powder. Fresh whole leaves, however, work very well in herbal tea infusions. The more refined white powders can be purchased in individual packets or as a bulk sugar and can be used in the same way as the green powder. The white powder or liquid solutions are a more convenient option for some people without the potential aftertaste. Sweet Leaf liquid solutions come in a number of different flavors and are delicious additions to most any sweet beverage or to flavor desserts or raw chocolates. General Sweet Leaf powder measurements. 1/8 teaspoon of white powder equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. 2 tablespoons of white powder equals 1 cup of sugar. All forms, but especially the white powder and liquid extracts, are very sweet, and you don't need much to attain the sweet taste you desire. Liquid solutions are also very concentrated and are harder to use in recipes, but can be blended in for added sweetness, using only a few drops for a cup of tea or by the dropper full for other recipes. Precautions. It is best to consume stevia in low doses and not overdo intake. Current research indicates no toxic side effects from regular use. Thanks for watching, and for more natural sweeteners, visit our website at superfoodsforsuperhealth.com. For trusted sources of stevia, be sure and check the links in the description box below this video. Please support us with a thumbs up if you found this video useful. And be sure and check out these other natural sweetener videos.